Hello, I'm Justin Cresswell. I am giving you a presentation about my doing an AFA defense, and so I'm going to talk a little bit about my past as an artist and a little bit about the art I made. So to start us off, let's talk about my past. Um, so I always liked games a lot, and that kind of got me started. I wanted to recreate the images I saw, so I would draw that in my free time. And over the years, I grew to love more and more classical art that you see in museums and um, stuff like Da Vinci and uh, other great classic artists. As I progressed, I went from more drawing on my own free time, like drawing in church, to drawing in class and taking more classes to get more involved. So let's talk a little bit more about my love of games. One in particular, it was called Fire Emblem. I really liked that kind of style, so I started recreating it, and as I played more games, I started drawing more. And my love for classical really developed a lot in high school, especially when I went on a art museum trip to California. This is a recreation of a sculpture from the Huntsman. Um, and so as I progressed, uh, things went from being gifts to being things I wanted to do for my career. So right now, I work in a lot of different mediums. I like trying a lot of different things, but most of my work is focused on sculpture, especially figurative work. Um, right here is a little stone sculpture I've made last year. And so the diverse mediums, I like digital work, I like traditional drawing, I like working with stone, I like working with wood. I um, Everything has its own unique qualities, and I really like that. But sculpture has really been my big love, especially in college. I've gotten a lot more into doing sculpture, uh, some more traditional stuff, and some more abstracted forms. Um, I love working with 3D space. Especially the figure. I think the human body is one of the most beautiful things in the world. So I love trying to capture it in various forms of accuracy. So my current project, the AFA I'm working on, is it's all about uh, kind of a more environmental message that's more targeted towards a conservative audience. Um, Kind of bringing it home to the rural communities, uh, and really show the impact of trash on the environment. And so I used different trash birds and a scrap atlas to achieve this method. And this show, Stewardship, took place on the end of January and ran for 2 weeks. So here I am in the middle of the show. This takes place in the alt space in the Snow College Gallery, and consists of 3 primary sculptures. There's Atlas here, uh, this hawk right here, and this paper dove right here. And um, with this, I was able to talk to quite a few different people about the meeting and really get people thinking about what we can do to lower our impact on the environment and to help kind of clean up. And so where did the inspiration come from? Well, it all kind of started in 3D class my freshman year of college. We were given the assignment to make a project out of 300 things, so I chose plastic bags And I made this big old 14-foot tall bird out of plastic bags and chicken wire. And at the time, it didn't have much meaning, but I've just talking to people and thinking more about it, I've um, the idea started to develop from there. And then working at a corporate job, just seeing the incredible amount of waste that's within our current system, um, I started to notice more waste in my own life. And so the idea started that I would make a receipt bird. And so I started saving up all the receipts of everything that I bought for an entire year. Um, because everything you buy, that eventually ends up in the trash in one way or another. Um, so that got me thinking on the idea that it's it's not just an environmental problem, it's an economic problem. These things go hand in hand. Oftentimes where um, we see corporations as benefiting from pollution, but in reality, that they don't. That's just short-term gains. In the long term, we all benefit monetarily and economically or economically um, when we work to take care of our planet. So some of the things that I tried to reflect in my project is that I didn't spend hardly any money on the materials. I tried to keep it as inexpensive as possible and use a lot of waste and a lot of my own waste. Um, so with the interplay between the dove and the hawk, I wanted that to be kind of symbol of it's an everyone problem. So since it's an economic and an ecological benefit to be more clean with the environment, I decided to make this dove out of receipts, so it can kind of represent that reusing is better for us economically. And so as I layered the receipts and bended them, folded them, I was able to achieve that kind of feather-like quality I tried to get. And then with the plastic hawk, it is more meant to represent the ecological benefit of reusing, since all those plastic bags won't be going back into the oceans or what have you. So with this one, I used a scrap steel base and welded it together, and then I weaved all of the plastic bags into each little opening. It used to be a fence, this base structure here, and so with that, I was able to achieve another feather-like quality in a different way. And that kind of goes back to my using different mediums. I love how each medium has its own unique properties and the different ways you can use them. And for my kind of centerpiece, I made a scrap atlas. And that's a map of all of the different trash islands where plastic tends to collect in our oceans. And that's to just show the scale of the ecological problem that is pollution, and just another way to visualize it for people. And so this atlas, it's me-sized. I used myself for all the proportions. And it's, again, made with scrap metal that I welded together. And then these little plastic islands are made out of melted plastic. And since the whole thing about this show is reusing and recycling and not wasting things, all of these sculptures have their final resting place in the recycling center over by the college to kind of show the way to the entrance. And So now if you want to see them ever, you can go over there and appreciate them. And um, yeah, that was my AFA project and a little insight into my work that I do. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to email me at jcrest1996@gmail.com or comment below. Since this will be on YouTube, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good day.